Hi, John McElroy here from Autoline, talking with Dave Robbins. He's the CEO and founder of a company called Intrepid Controls. It provides tools to engineers for vehicle networking, testing, and embedded engineering. Dave, great to have you in the studio today.
Great to be here, John.
So I just gave a little bit of an overview of what the company is about. Let's go into more detail. When you say you provide tools for these different categories, what exactly are we talking about?
So basically, Intrepid's been in business for about 25 years, started out of college, Ann Arbor. What happened at that time was electronics started to become more a part of the vehicle. So it started with one or two computers. They kind of saw that as a trend. And basically, they needed tools to help develop these systems with multiple computers that are connected together. So we make all kinds of tools for modern electronic systems. So I have an example of a tool that plugs into the vehicle and it's USB on the other. And what happens in these vehicles is there's dozens of computers or up to hundreds in modern vehicles. And all these computers have to work together. So there's like an in-vehicle internet that goes on. And they all have to communicate and work together to form a system. So our whole company is based on that technology and all the ramifications of that technology. So like if you look at all the new hot topics like OTA, how does OTA work? It works over these networks. Cybersecurity, these are the entry points where the hackers are hitting in. Autonomy, all the sensors are coming over these networks. Diagnostics, find out what's wrong, remote diagnostics, and like data logging for car crashes. It's all related to this technology. So that's why it's been a great business for us. We started out, I did every job in the company at one point. And now we're almost 200 people and we're a global company headquartered in Troy, Michigan.
Yeah, so when you talk about all these tools and things, this is for actually developing it, or it's for going in and finding problems that are in these systems?
It's primarily it's for finding problems, but it's for development. So if you think about when you go into a garage and they plug in a tool, there's a lot of work that goes into kind of hiding all the details and just making it very simple for the technician. Our tools are very low level and it's very detailed for the engineers to develop the actual vehicle. So like low level, bits and bytes and things like that kind of give clues onto why something is or is not working. Yeah.
It's very interesting. I mean, cars are only getting more and more complicated, more and more lines of code, more and more computers going on board. That's got to be good for business, I would imagine.
It's great for business. So we do business with pretty much every OEM, especially in Detroit and also California. So obviously Tesla is a driver of technology and everybody wants to be them. So it's been really great for our business, being involved with, those OEMs, and there's a lot of movement there. And, everyone's trying to catch up with Tesla, and that's driving more computers, more technology. And that's basically our business is we're trying to help, our OEMs. They have some vision of some technology they want, and we're there to support them. And more support is probably the big part because they have thousands of people that are coming along, and they're not necessarily, electronics wizards. They're chassis development or HVAC development where, the technology is just a means to the end.
So you get into all systems in a car, it sounds like.
Yeah, everything is computer controlled now. And the main way OEMs have a way to look into this is through a tool like ours. So a popular network you might have heard of is CAN bus, but there's new networks coming out. They're building Ethernet into vehicles. There's almost a new network every day. So as long as they build these networks, that we're helping. And it's really amazing if you look at the start when I started 25 years ago. We're talking about AOL, American Online dial-up speeds, till now we're talking fiber, multi-gigabit, these high definition cameras that are used for autonomy. It's been quite a development for us. So, I would say that, we're probably one of the few companies in Detroit where, we're doing more advanced, circuit design and layout than they are doing in like Northern California because of the technology driven in automotive right now. It's real exciting.
Yeah, you're headquartered in Detroit. You mentioned you do business certainly with all the automakers here, but
yes,
as you mentioned, you're a global company. You've got operations in Europe and China, Australia, all over the place.
Yeah, so basically all these OEMs have the same problems, and there's a few suppliers that support the industry. We're the biggest one in Michigan. Most of them are in Germany. We started out with GM being our biggest customer and still being our biggest customer. So GM as a global company, we built offices out wherever they are. So starting out in China, Korea, Europe, in the UK, as well as Germany, India. We have 3 offices in China, actually, and also Japan. I knew I was leaving one out there, in India. But yeah, we have a full global organization. Wherever they develop vehicles, we're supporting them and helping them solve problems.
Is it just automakers, or are you working with the tiers as well?
Yeah, so basically the automakers like a pyramid. So the OEMs are on the top. So we sell to them, and then all the tiers come with it. And then we also we sell peripheral markets that use the technology. So like agriculture, construction, military. There's some auto enthusiasts, where they buy every toy in the book and they buy our stuff. And of course, aftermarket. So if you look at the cybersecurity industry, it's new, but it's not new for us because, before it was called cybersecurity, it's called benchmarking. So, benchmarking's been around forever, so like who bought the first GM Saturn vehicles? Toyota, like they took that thing apart, and our tool helps people do that. So that's why if you go to like DEF CON, you'll see our vehicle spy software on every computer there for cybersecurity.
I was interested to see too on your website, you do training. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're like I mentioned, we're kind of a grassroots kind of company where we try to sell to the engineers. And one way we do marketing mostly is through trade show marketing, word of mouth marketing, and then also training. So we do free training. So the technology is pretty complex, and then so the OEM will roll out a technology, a new global electrical architecture, and there's just a lot of new things to learn. So things like OTA or cybersecurity, it's going to affect how the vehicles work. So we take it upon ourselves to train most of the OEM's engineers, and we run through thousands of engineers per year with our training right in Troy.
That's fascinating. I mean, did you ever imagine that would be part of the business going forward when you started out?
No, I can't imagine what it would be like. But, for a sales guy to visit 3 customers versus actually giving them some real information and, touching 20 people, it's a real good business. We're trying to add value for our customers. So it's been a real positive thing for everyone.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. You said you came out of Ann Arbor, I'm assuming University of Michigan. What?
Yes.
You just started the company right then and there?
Yeah. So I was lucky where I took some college in high school, and my first job out of college was at General Motors Saturn, the engineering development. So I was kind of like a whiz kid with electronics. And so when I went to college, I actually I visited some of my old customers, and I was showing them some things I was making by myself, and then I showed them some software I was writing for this medical company. And they're like, "Well, we want that software." GM was like, "We want that software." So that's kind of how it all started. So it just grew from there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you say it just grew from there, but I mean, how did you go out and get all these other customers that you've got today?
It was tough. I starved a lot in my 20s, but you basically have some customers that will take a risk with you, and if you do a good job, then you ask for that word of mouth. So that's how it all started. And over 25 years, it grew slowly, but it's quite a substantial thing now. So we're a very large company, and 200 people, and we have some. We built a great team. Like people who love to write software, to learn new things, and engineer. So.
That's great. What a great story, Dave. Hey, thanks for taking the time today. Very interesting to learn about you and about Intrepid Control Systems.
Yeah, thank you very much, John.